Hi, Beardos. Joe here, and we can't come to the phone right now because, well, we don't want to. So, leave us a message right here, and we will listen to it as soon as we feel like it. Bye!
This message is for Papa Joe and Daddy Anthony. This is Ricky. I heard you talking shit about me on your little podcast, complaining about the pitter-patter of my little feet in the night. Well, I can report on all the weird noises you guys make in the middle of the night. Unless you want this to escalate, I would like an apology on your little podcast and maybe some extra kibble tomorrow night.
Good evening. This is Beards and Sundries Podcast News, your one-stop news shop every Sunday, with your host, Jay. Another host, Anthony. And another host, Joe. We're your Beards and Sundries hosts and news anchors for Season 5 of Beards and Sundries.
We already got notes about that, but okay, let's go ahead and start.
All right. And welcome back to the Beards and Sundries News Network.
Hello.
Hi.
The only place where the news isn't real, except every place.
Well, that's right, guys. Welcome back to the News Network. But it is time for another lunch break here at Beards and Sundries, the shop where three gay men with beards do inventory on a new sundry in each episode.
My name is Jay, and for the next 4 years, I'm going to have a very serious case of post-nut disgust.
Why? What did you do?
Because it wasn't serious enough
Because
already.
I'm just going to be disgusted, not exactly what I watched. It's just purely disgusted.
I was like, did you watch some weird Kamala pegging Trump porn? Is that what you did?
Oh my... No, I'm just disgusted. Clean it up, buddy.
I'm Anthony, the ghost of sanity and reason, rising from the well of truth to curse Donald Trump with self-awareness.
Yes.
Well, go do your job.
Down the road, down the witch's road.
I will no longer be using the democratic process. I am going to be resorting to black magic.
Yes. And I'm Joe, and...
Two shots of vodka.
Glug, 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 glug. Just 2 shots.
Are you drinking all the cherry ones? I want those for in the morning.
Well, tough.
I want them for right now.
Yeah.
Here you go, Jody. That means that today's sundry item is processing the 2024 presidential election. Beardos, Donald Trump was officially declared the winner of this year's election, and I, for one, am still in shock. Yes, I knew this was a possibility, and I know that my vote was futile living here in Oklahoma, but I still cast it. But I still couldn't believe what I was seeing as more and more states turned red in front of my eyes. I've cried, I've yelled, and I'm still grieving from what could have been. I, for one, went back and forth on whether or not I even wanted to record an episode this week, and I decided that even if I didn't want to, I need to. Not just for me, and not just for my co-hosts, but for you, our Beardos. Or maybe even someone who stumbled onto this little show and is trying to process their own feelings like I am. Well, to all of you I can say this. We're here, we care about you, and no matter what happens, we'll move forward. Somehow, we'll move forward. Today, the three of us are going to talk about what we've been feeling, what we are doing to cope, and as usual, we'll try and laugh because I'm getting tired of crying. After the break, we're going to try and lighten up the mood by trying out our hand at doing some interior decorating, and Jay has a good set of Beardo submitted sundries for us this week. But before we go back to staring into the void, how about this week's voicemail?
Anthony, can you tell us your thoughts over the noise of the helicopter above you?
I am so annoyed with it. Why is it just sitting there? Beardos, I'm sorry. It won't leave. There's got to be like a manhunt happening right now, right around our area. That's the only thing I think of. There's just some news chopper out there that's like, oh man, there's somebody out there who knows that we record. They watch us, they wait, and then they call the fucking police or the fire department, and that's what happens every week when we record.
Or they called their cousin with the really loud motorcycle.
Anyways, don't forget, there are people out there who are not fucking trash humans.
30% of Oklahomans or 30% of Oklahoma voters?
Oh, Oklahoma voters, yeah.
Okay.
There are other people who didn't vote, so.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's go to the voicemail. That was George, right?
That was not.
Who was that?
Todd. His name is Todd. His name is Todd. From DC.
Hey! I'm glad that he has his own intro now. Okay.
Where's he from?
From DC.
I've been wanting to play that.
We'll animate that this week. Okay, so, first of all, Todd, I need you to know, Ricky is a fucking dick. Also, he just got the very fun label from our vet of obese.
Obese. He's 47 pounds. He's a chunk.
He is a fat little fuck.
I'm just laughing because the vet, the way I picture it in my head is he turns around as you guys walk in with Reggie and he's like, oh, hey, that's that fat ass dog.
That's exactly what it is. He's the big boy now.
So there's a couple reasons for it, I think, and he's getting old. He has a fatty tumor under his right arm that it's just it's not anything to worry about, but it does get in his way when he moves, so he doesn't like to walk as much anymore. Plus, he's old and being overweight. I don't like to walk that much either, so I get it. But so he's gained weight, so we're cutting back on his kibble, actually, and so we're getting him to go walk every day again. So hopefully we can get a couple pounds shaved off of him.
And get it to where it's more comfortable for him to walk, and so he will actually enjoy getting out and doing it, and maybe give him a better quality of life.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, he's a fucking asshole. The tippy taps are real, little click clacks all night. We got his little claws trimmed when he got groomed like a week or two ago, and he just drags those motherfuckers all across the floor. Ugh.
But he is right. There are some odd noises coming up from the bed.
Oh, let me tell you, at night, not a lot of action is happening there. It probably sounds a lot like my CPAP machine going.
Yeah, come through, Darth Vader, Daddy.
Now, in the morning, different
You
story.
all adapted to the darkness. I was born in it.
Come on, transatlantic Bane.
What are you doing for the show, Toots?
Hey,
Calling
Puss,
out of
what
a
are you
pit?
doing after the show?
You never should have come here, Mr. UPS man.
Oh my God. All these recent episodes, I'm coughing to die.
Oh, God. But thank you for calling in, Todd, and reminding me that my dog is a little dickhead. I don't need reminding.
I'm sure, as a fellow corgi parent, you can relate to some
I
extent.
am certain you can. But, Joe, do you think we could find a little solace in the sundries aisle?
Jay's been drinking all of his solace in aisle 4, that's for sure. But if you guys are new to the show and you're wondering just what the hell a sundry is, the term comes from an old English word meaning odds and ends. Now today it's used mainly in retail as a way to group together items that don't typically have a group of their own. So, as 3 very disappointed gay men with beards, we are using the term to group together the wide range of topics that we cover.
Wow. I am disappointed. You are correct. But not in that intro. Hey! Wow!
Yay!
So yeah, how you feeling, everyone?
I purposely scheduled a therapy appointment today, weeks out for this, because I knew no matter what happened, I was going to have some big feels about it. So I just got done with therapy, where I got to process a little bit and ground myself a little bit more, and realize that probably a lot of my emotions are stemming from me catastrophizing things. And sometimes it's better for me to manage the small circle of friends and family that I do have than try to bear the weight of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yesterday, I took the day off fucking work because
Same.
I wasn't
So did
going to
I.
do that. I woke up and I looked at my phone to see the election results, and I rolled over to Joe and I said, "Do you want to play hooky today?" And he had his face in his pillow and he just nodded and went, mm-hmm.
I called my workplace and I literally said, "Yeah, I'm not coming in today."
Yeah, I definitely, I went in and I regret it because I was useless and I felt awful. And I don't know if it was one thing or a combo of the fact that I had a bottle of wine during election night and that I woke up in the middle of the night to see if the results were out, and they weren't, but I saw Georgia and Pennsylvania went to Trump, and I just went, that's it, I'm dead. And so then I slept terrible, and then, so yeah, it was bad sleep, alcohol, election results. I felt terrible on Wednesday. I came home, I walked the dog briefly, I napped on the couch, I walked him again, and went to bed. And I'm better today, which is Thursday, our recording day today. And I'm better, and I think it's, one, because I had therapy today also, and two, I've kind of hit this point where I was like, fucking take everything away from me. That way I can do whatever I want because I won't have anything to lose. So fuck you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it too. And I also, I realize I'm reacting a lot out of a place of emotion and not logic, but it feels good. So, some of that I'm just going to let continue to happen. There has got to be someone on the fucking run over here.
So listeners, you're going to hear a lot of noises in the background, and that's okay. We all feel this crazy.
I wonder if this is on purpose. This is actually a decent backdrop for this episode. Let's just have all the emergency sirens, the fucking search copter sounds, this is
Because
this is how
the
it
chaos
feels
we
right now.
feel.
Yeah, this is the vibe. Because that's that fucking helicopter again.
Yeah, there's got to be something going on around you guys, and we're just going to have to deal with it, I think.
Beardos,
I checked
if
my
somebody
neighborhood
breaks
app,
in
but
here
I'm
to,
pretty sure I'd scream, so.
Oh, I know. There's probably a lot of gunshots! Gunshots! And I was like, bitch, you voted for gunshots! Did you not vote for the gunshots? Bitch.
How can you be mad about gunshots when you're completely screaming about gun rights?
Yeah, seriously, calm the fuck down. Because you voted for this. I think that's also my thing right now, is like, a lot of my knee-jerk reaction is to not speak to most of my family ever again. And I don't know that I'm necessarily changing my mind on that, but I also really hope that I'm overreacting, because I don't feel like I am, but again, that's just a feeling. Feelings stem from thoughts, and a lot of my thoughts are catastrophizing.
I'm actually glad you talked about that, because I had this conversation with my therapist today. I said, I've been debating for a very long while, years, but within the last few months, it's been a very strong debate. If I'm even going to go up to like family events anymore, because I'm not respected as a human. I'm only respected for the parts of me that they want to be proud of to tell their friends about. But they do not respect me as a homosexual male, all that stuff. I do not get that luxury of having family that supports me. And I told my therapist, I said, after this election, it's kind of just like snapped me more to where I don't think I'm going to do it. I think they're just going to have to deal with the fact that they don't respect me and I don't respect them anymore. And so I think this Thanksgiving, Reggie and I are going to enjoy a morning, and I'm going to cook dinner for myself.
You're also
I'm
invited to come up
perfectly
here
happy.
because we
You're
do
also more
Friendsgiving.
than welcome to come to our house.
Because
And
we
I
do
appreciate
Friendsgiving
that.
every year. Because
That's right, you do.
we don't do a family thing on Thanksgiving. We do Friendsgiving, and I think it's a really great solution for our little friend group to not have to deal with family on that day, and we get to be around our chosen family.
Yeah.
I can also tell you wholeheartedly that Matt and Kayla would love to have you here.
Oh, that's true. They'll be there for sure.
Yeah. Okay, let me think
So,
on that. And
think
if
about
I
it.
decline, it's not because I don't want to
Oh,
see you
that's
guys. Just
Yeah.
FYI.
Well,
Nope,
so
we're just extending the invite.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. I completely forgot.
well, good. Yeah, think about it. But speaking of family, so I spent most of the Wednesday just kind of not even looking at my phone because I was afraid of knee-jerk reactions. I was afraid of things that I might say too quickly that I would later regret, and I didn't want to. I just didn't want to put more negativity out there than I was already feeling. So I didn't look at my phone much at all, and messages were rolling in, people were reaching out, and I just wasn't reaching back. And so then today I was better. I'm not as much better as I wish I was, but I am better. And I decided to call my parents. And it was actually right before we started recording this. And they, of course, made me feel better like they always do. And my dad said that he listened to something that really changed his perspective, and it was changing your thinking from what if to we'll see. And I gave him a little bit of pushback, and I said I don't want to become complacent and let things happen like Handmaid's Tale. But it did make me think, and the we'll see is kind of like a, oh, well, Jay's favorite voice. Donald Trump says that he's going to do Project 2025. And then, so instead of doom scrolling, worrying about that, and thinking of all the things that might happen, so change your thinking into we'll see. So he says that they're going to ban abortion. Oh, we'll see. So instead of letting my mind go into a swirling vortex of terror and thinking about all the things that might happen, you kind of have to reshuffle your thinking into we'll see if that happens. And it does make me feel a little bit better. So I did have to credit my dad for that. And of course,
Yeah,
my mom
that's-
was lovely to talk to, like she always is, and she was warm and welcoming. And I felt better calling them because I imagine she was probably getting worried that I was upset with them, and I wanted to clear the air more than anything else. So it was a good phone call. And my sister reached out, and I had a nice conversation with her too. So it's definitely been the silver lining of the cloud for me.
I will say that's probably a good description of my mental space right now. I'm gonna not fret about the what ifs. I'm very focused on we'll cross the bridge when it gets there, because there's nothing I can do prior except
Right.
what we're doing now and staying very loud and proud voices. And I think this may solidify the need for our show a little bit more in my personal opinion, because we are being the the vulnerable party because we're staying exposed to people that dislike us, and I will take that risk any day for the pride of who I am as a person.
And I think that's sort of the thing that you can do right now in the face of what I've been feeling is like fascism, where I don't even really, there, again, it's a we'll see type situation, but it's, I think at the end of the day, existing as yourself and trying to be honest as yourself is the best thing that you can do. And trying to engage people in a way that reminds them that other people exist and that we're not, monsters out here doing awful things. We're just people. We're just your friends, your neighbors, we're your family,
Your coworkers.
We're people that you're around every single day, and you don't have a problem with anything but what the news tells you to have a problem with. And I think it gets harder for people to villainize minorities when they have to see them every single day.
Yes. When you have to see us exist as regular humans, I think that is the best we can do to protect ourselves. That show you that we are still human regardless.
Yeah.
And I think that's
we're here, we're
that's,
queer, and we're not going anywhere.
and
Deal
we're not
with
going
it.
anywhere. And we've been doing that for decades at this point. And I feel like now is, it's easier than ever to gain visibility in this world. So, there's a lot of, I know yesterday and even today I had a lot of anger and a lot of sadness, and I was mourning, and I had all this grief, and unfortunately for you guys, I did do some crying, but it was not on video, and now I don't feel like crying anymore. So,
Well, Anthony, lucky for us, we had cameras in your living room. Roll the camera. No, I'm kidding.
if you had a mic, it was in the bedroom, so you missed
Sorry.
out.
Wrong
But
room.
if there was a camera in the living room, it definitely heard me because I did not cry quietly.
That'll work.
And if there's
That'll
anywhere
work.
that I can elicit crying, it's definitely the bedroom.
But, I also feel like the more I let myself dive into negative emotions, and the more I want to treat people poorly, the more I sink into that negativity. And practicing kindness and practicing, you don't have to forgive people to, just have small acts of kindness. You can just do them for yourself, because they do feel better. They make things feel easier instead of having to put up a wall every single time, and so I was really not super nice to people at work today, but I'm probably gonna go back to just trying to be myself as much as I can, because I think that's probably more effective than putting my walls up and then having people feel like, well, God, he's being a piece of shit. And it's not necessarily, it's not even really for them, it's for me, because it makes my day easier.
And if we put walls up, then we're no better than Donald J. Trump himself.
And if
Good
we sink
fucking
into the
Lord, that's true.
negativity, we'll just be exactly like the people that voted and got us into this current situation. They have all been in this negative thought process regarding, I don't know, whatever their opinion was, the border, the economy, things like that, and ignoring the fact that there's a lot of human rights at risk. And so that negativity is what creates this scenario.
And we do have to remember the guy's platform is all based off of fear. He's a fearmonger, and,
Yeah,
and
for
it's
sure.
effective.
Yes,
It
he
works. It makes people afraid. And he
Fear-mongering
took
and
advantage.
good marketing.
Yeah, he took advantage of the things that people have always taken advantage of: the outsiders, the minorities, the people on the fringe, and he made people afraid of them. And fear is an easy sell for people. If they don't feel safe, like you and I don't feel very safe right now, that feeling of not being safe and that pain, it sways people. And I'm not forgiving anybody for anything. That's not it. It's sometimes hard to forget that sometimes people are really afraid of those things, even if they're lies. If they believe it and it feels real to them, and they don't have enough self-awareness to dig deeper than that feeling, or in how that is maybe not real, it's just a feeling. Feelings happen, and they aren't always based in fact. In fact, a lot of times they aren't. They're trying to make themselves feel safe, and that's all any of us want. And again, I am not offering necessarily forgiveness. I just think that now, of all times, it's important for us to remember that empathizing with each other is the key to bridging these gaps.
And trying to humanize and understand why these people elect the way they do doesn't mean you're forgiving them, but you're coming to an understanding of, oh, this is why you are. And I kind of pity that this is how shallow you are and kind of unaware.
It's upsetting.
Uneducated.
It is.
Yeah, it's alarming.
And then the biggest thing that I can try to beg people to do now is just to educate yourself, because it's clear that the U.S. will not educate you. You have to do it yourself now. And that means finding reliable sources. That means not watching Fox News. And that means doing your homework. Essentially, you have to find the right places to find the right news. For example, I found a story from this woman who, she's from southwestern Pennsylvania, and I know I've said it before, but I grew up 4 miles south of the border, right next to southwestern Pennsylvania, so this one hit kind of close to me. She said, "Results of this have already started. This is from an American woman today, me. My husband works for a small manufacturing company, and here in southwestern Pennsylvania, that means most employees are Trump voters. When the president of the company sat them all down today to tell them that their annual Christmas bonus would not come this year because the company now needs to purchase at least a year's worth of products prior to January 21st due to the proposed tariffs, they did not understand. My husband told me that the president of the company had to explain to them what a tariff is and how it will directly hurt their company. They all thought the foreign company paid the tariff. This is the level of ignorance voting against their own interests here in Pennsylvania, where we failed American women and children." And she's right.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is the guy's been lying, and he used fear to make people believe those lies. He sold them fake fear, and he also sold them himself as the solution.
So this just happens to be really shitty timing on my part, but my parents were just bitching about how, everything's so expensive. That's why they have to vote Republican, and that they're trying to find ways to, start saving money. And in one way, I want to be like, well, you do have a large house that sits on 80 acres, and you have 8 cars and a 5-car garage and all. Maybe you live outside of your means. Ugh. But on top of that, I'm done paying for their cell phone bill.
Wow.
You were still paying for their cell phone bill? Oh, they can fuck all the way off.
And I'm going to say, oh, by the way, you guys need to get your own plan. I'm going to transfer these back to you. So when you get that set up, let me know.
We did that at the end of the year, 2 years ago, actually.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Great decision. Great decision.
I have been doing it, and I've been debating for a while, and I was just like, well, no. And then recently...
My parents don't even treat me as shitty as your parents treat you.
I've been focusing harder on it, thinking, you really should just do this. And then after the election and after talking to Mom last Saturday, where we had an hour-long conversation, and she said a lot of ignorant things. And I, at one point, said, I know that you don't understand my lifestyle, but you have to understand that it's my livelihood, my existence can be at risk because of this. And she's like, you're right, I don't understand it. And, that's... I don't even remember how it went, but it was basically, you live in sin. And...
so does she.
So I can't support it. And I kind of went down the religious path. And I sat there and went, I don't understand how you can judge people based off your nitpicking of the Bible when you... Would you like me to list everything that you sin right now? And I was like, you're a divorced woman. And she said, God wouldn't want you to live in an unhappy marriage and be treated emotionally abused. And I said, that's not a footnote. I've read the Bible, Mom. So you don't get some what-if scenarios. You're a sinner. And then I went down this list of things like blending fabrics and how, what was it?
Shellfish.
There was something else. Yeah, I said there was something else I did. And I said, you guys are obsessed with football, and that is touching of this pigskin. And I'm going down all these things. And she's like, well, we're just going to have to disagree. Or we're going to have to agree to disagree. We have different opinions. And I said, but I'm not.
What happens?
You can't disagree on facts.
You can't just do that.
And I said,
well,
"You also-
well, you need Jesus.
And I
What
told her,
the fuck does that
I
even
told her, I said,
mean?
I can't even understand why you think that this nation should run on a religion that, one, the book was based from the Torah. It is a afterthought religion that was nitpicked from Judaism.
And paganism.
Also,
Don't forget
yes.
paganism.
And I said, and a lot of things are pulled from paganism. Your tradition of Christmas is a paganistic tradition. And so
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't understand why you think your branch of religion is the right one. And she goes, well, our forefathers were very religious, and I said, well, then why did they write the separation of church and state when they made this nation? I don't understand why you're
You know what
stupid.
you know what they said before they said you have the right to have a gun? You know what they said? They said there should be a separation of church and state. Did we forget the First Amendment?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
God, there is this distinctly American, well, not necessarily American, let's say Western ideal, but it really is prevalent in America. That being Christian grants you morality, that it grants you this moral high ground, and people are so bought into it, they're completely immune to any sort of self-awareness, and they don't understand how you think they can be bad. And when you start digging, and you start digging past that first layer, and you start challenging their thought process, and they start thinking they might have to challenge their own thought process, they shut it down.
That is a no-go.
Yeah. And so that's when you get to we'll just have to agree to disagree. And that is the very point that person has had to challenge their own belief even a little bit. And it's so funny
I felt
because
proud
gay
of that,
people are pretty good at it, because a lot of us had to figure out what the fuck was wrong with us when we were kids. And there's nothing wrong with us, obviously, but in your head.
Why were we different?
Yeah, why am I different? So you have to really examine yourself. And so, being queer, especially in America, especially in cultures where it's not really traditionally overly accepted, and especially for, if you grew up in the South or West Virginia, for example.
You can say the South. It's technically the South. It's below the Mason-Dixon line.
They're educated like the South.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Maybe a little worse.
What do you mean, maybe?
But it does, and I know we kind of get a little woe is me sometimes, but it does grant us a few things that are nearly superpowers in our society, which is, most of us have some degree of self-awareness. Not everyone. And in your 20s, I'm going to give you a pass, because we're all shitty in our 20s. We're going through our teenage years in our 20s.
Well, and we also haven't even fully developed our brains until our later 20s. So
right.
You get a little bit of a pass, but after 27, you really need to start working on yourself.
You got to start figuring it out.
Start self-evaluating, because
Right.
you need to. I waited until 30, and now I feel like a jackass, so...
Well, look, I got news. You are.
I'll just say that my superpower is I can navigate my way through an argument without using the phrase, it's God's plan.
Oh, my God.
I that is a little bit exhausting right now. Some of the social media memes are really getting me, because it's the people who are like, no matter who's president tomorrow, God's still going to be in charge. And I'm just like, you guys, I understand. It makes you feel better.
Oh,
it does make you feel safe.
God,
But we
I
gotta stop, man. We gotta stop.
And it's great because we all think Trump supporters are dumb, sure, of course, but you know who thinks they're the dumbest people on the planet? Donald Trump. He thinks they're the dumbest people ever.
That's why
and
he
he's
ran
knows.
Republican.
Kinda
the
right.
dumbest people on the planet.
Exactly.
He
So
wasn't trying to run it. He just was trying to run on a platform he could win, and he found
I
it.
need you. Here's a line that came out of my mother's mouth during our argument. Well, if he's so bad, then God would have taken him out with one of his assassination attempts if he was such a bad guy. And I was
What?
like, Oh my God, Mom. I'm like, based on that logic, God kills bad people and saves good people. And I'm like, and we all know that's not true. So
That's really
try
not true.
again.
That is so. I do really. It is simultaneously the most frustrating and most funny thing to interact with Christians who just do the biggest mental gymnastics to
and
figure things out.
That's what I said. I said, I feel like you're just doing the biggest mental gymnastics right now because you don't like that I'm presenting stuff that you don't want to hear. And so you
There it
always
is.
have to find a way to try and quote unquote win. Your theory is I have to have the last word to
Yeah.
win. And I'm like, and this is the scenario we're in. You can't even have a logical opinion and be like, well, that's a really good point. You would never admit that I made a good point. You will only find a way to tell me that, well, and you're going to twist it constantly. That's how you do it. You have no respect for my thoughts because you believe yours are the only one. If you were to make a valid thought, which you have not yet, I would support it.
I feel like that's sort of the thing is it has to go back to having that morality, and especially I sometimes feel really bad for boomers because their generation had a lot of parents that basically they were sort of taught that if you admit you're wrong, you've lost, and losing is bad, like it's a moral failing to lose. And so they really have these hardwired like perceptions of themselves that they have to maintain, and if those start failing, their ego starts just going into hyperdrive, and so you just I don't know, it's funny, it's really sad, but it's super fucking funny sometimes to me. It's just like, what?
It was
How do
fun
you think
watching the
that?
trail.
Where did you get there? Because if that were true, then how did Barack Obama make it through 8 years of being president if you hated him so much? Like, what the fuck?
And how come you did well economically when Obama went into office?
Yeah,
Because
it's
our
the-
economy. Anyways.
This is God's plan, right up until I don't agree with it, and then we need God back in this country, and then it's just like, what?
Yeah, I'm treating this moment kind of as I know he's going to do something stupid and crazy that you disagree with, because even last time he did that, and I kind of am just sitting here to be like, yeah, that's what you chose.
But he's still gonna continue to just sell fear and snake oil, and that's his strategy, and it's working for the guy because obviously he's convinced a lot of minorities and women to vote against their own best interests,
and he got a popular vote,
which is wild because that hasn't happened to a Republican since the 1990s.
Yeah, that really threw me off.
Yeah, so
Wait,
that
was it
one.
Oh yeah, because. No,
George
it would have been
H.W. Oh, was
Yeah,
it the 80s?
and that was an 80s election.
Oh shit!
Because
bitch,
remember,
that's the
Clinton
first
came
time
in
it's
at
happened
92.
in literally almost 4 decades.
Yeah, so whatever he did, I mean, that's marketing. He did marketing, and he knows how to market. That I will not drag him on. He's
The problem
excellent at
is-
marketing.
Is he's really bad at execution, and so it's just it's the rest of it that's gonna suck. But the guy's a salesman. He did his job.
Well, as long as we all get
bad
free
at
steaks in
execution,
college,
just like
then-
this country's bad at education.
Ooh, yeah.
and he's about to make it worse. Is it time for commercial?
Yes, but before we go to break, I only have one more kind of thing, and then we'll go to
Yeah.
break, and then we'll talk about fun stuff, I promise.
Okay.
Okay. So I found a not so fun TikTok video, and I did go behind the scenes, and I did source down this list and article, and it is sound. And this is from the Spartacus Gay Travel Guide Index, and it told me the 10 least LGBTQIA+ states in the country, and the list probably won't shock you. Coming in at number 10, Florida. Number 9, North Carolina. Number 8, North Dakota. Number 7, South Dakota. Number 6, West Virginia.
Ooh.
Number 5, Alabama. Number 4, Mississippi. Number 3, Tennessee. Number 2, Montana. And at number 1, the least gay-friendly state in the country, Oklahoma.
What? How did Kentucky not make it on there?
I swore I read a list. Well, you're right. Yours is a different source. Because I read a list that had us at like number 6.
I was going to say, I actually was starting to feel a little hopeful there because I kept thinking like Kentucky is definitely on this fucking list because they still have like sundown towns. Like you just
They're
can't
close.
be in Kentucky.
So Florida's number 10, and then 11, 12, 13, 14 is Kentucky, and 15 is Kansas.
That's Oklahoma?
Yep.
How old is this list?
It's from
Yeah.
2024.
That's
That's
gay.
wild. No, it's not.
Apparently
That's
not.
the problem.
But
That's ungay. Sorry. That's
we're going to cast the doom and gloom aside. I'm sure a lot of you are feeling a lot of your feelings as well, and you're valid to feel those feelings.
To be
Can I
fair,
make-
I think we handled that pretty well, though.
We did. Can I make a proposal at this point in the episode?
Yeah.
So, how about at this point in the episode, we go ahead and we cut to our Hunky Tops commercial. So you guys will get that. You may not get one of our patented homemade commercials this week, but you got 45 minutes of us just blabbering on about this. So,
And maybe
take
we'll
it-
say something that I can make a little jingle for.
Yeah, who knows? And then when
Oh,
we
it's
come
not
back, we'll
discussed.
go into
Tasty
Beardo
juice.
Submitted Sundries. We'll go into Beardo Submitted Sundries, and then we will go into Joe's interior design experiment.
Sounds good to me.
All right, let's do it.
Now that's shameful.
Hey listeners, are you ready to add some spice to your wardrobe? Check out hunkytops.com, the queer, Latino-owned clothing site that brings you the hottest styles. And here's an exclusive deal just for you, listeners. Get 10% off your first order with the code SUNDRIES. That's right, 10% off when you use the code SUNDRIES at checkout. They do offer sizes above 3XL. Just hit the contact button and request a larger size and they'll accommodate the best they can. So, what are you waiting for? Visit hunkytops.com today. Explore their amazing styles and wear your pride with confidence. hunkytops.com. Wear your pride, live your style. Remember, hunkytops.com. Use code SUNDRIES for 10% off your first order. Order now!
You're listening to the Beards and Sundries podcast, the news source that's still rated 5 out of 6 balls.
Oh, man, your mom is dumb, huh? That sucks.
Oh, God, it was a... And what's funny is it was all triggered because she's like, we bought this device that Elon Musk makes, and you plug it in, I know, and you plug it into an outlet closest to your electrical box, and it regulates the electricity throughout the system, blah, 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 blah. And it helps save on energy. And I looked it up.
It's
and I
called
was
snake
like,
oil.
Yeah, I looked it up and I was like, Mom, this is something that your algorithms on Facebook would make you buy. And I'm like, you guys need to start being a little bit careful because this is purely scam. On top of that, Elon Musk has nothing to do with it. That's just what the scam said.
Is
And
she on
so-
Temu? I feel like she's on Temu.
Well, she's like, it wasn't that expensive. It was $25. So we got 2. And I was like, oh my God.
So it's $50.
And she's like, well, I don't know how you say it couldn't work. Our bill has dropped. And I said, yeah, but you also told me that you stopped using the dryer for a month and saved $80 on your electric bill and didn't question it, when in fact, you're using your air conditioner less, Mom. And she's like, oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. And I was like, you guys are
Yeah,
so
clearly
fucking
not.
stupid.
Stupid!
I'm like,
Did
why
you
are
see
you
that
so
Elon
goddamn
Musk
stupid?
was with Trump at Mar-a-Lago on election night? That is
Yeah.
so foreboding and scary.
Doesn't shock me at all.
No, not at all. But oh my god,
It's a conflict of
that's
interest, though, now
scary.
with this company if we use his rockets for NASA.
Oh, they don't care about that.
Nah,
they'll just say it's a
they'll fuck it over
collaboration
somehow.
instead.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the most interesting phone call with my mother. And so then that's when I went down this whole path. I said, by the way, I know you hate me as a homosexual. And she's like, whoa. And I'm like, oh, the fact that you couldn't just say, no, we don't hate you at all. We love you dearly.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to call my mother and tell her that she's a dumb bitch?
Ooh, wow, that'd be fun.
Yeah, actually, what's their fucking phone number?
So also, before we started recording this, Beardos, I gotta let you know that Joe was wearing his I voted sticker. And I told him I was going to feature my I voted sticker because it has since been repurposed as of the night of the election. So I, too, voted on my bottle of Kraken Black Spiced Rum, which I have brought into my office to consume.
Now available in aisle 4.
Now available in aisle 4. I voted and then I immediately moved to liquor because I was just, ooh, what a fucking night. Anyways, welcome back.
I will say that I thought about drinking wine tonight to be like, fuck it. But after Tuesday night, my body's like, I don't want any wine for a bit.
Yeah, I'm off work tomorrow, the next day, so that's why I'm partaking right now.
I'm not, but I've decided this week doesn't count towards anything presently.
Well, I'm also worried that I think I've been kind of suffering depression for a while. Just some sort of it, that not a real serious one, but it's just been there. And I'm just finally getting out of the rut of it. And then the election happened, and now I'm back in it. So I'm like...
It's just an EF1 depression.
Yeah, which now I might be an EF2 for a moment because I've been napping every day after work, which is really unusual.
Maybe we should go on another cruise. Call that a tropical depression.
You know, I really want to do a transatlantic cruise. Actually,
What does that sound like, Jay?
Sounds like a commercial.
let's go on a cruise, boys.
Jay's Transatlantic Cruise. It'll be a whopper of a time. You'll get your dingle dangled.
We could also go on an Australian cruise because on my threads the other day I said I need to marry abroad and it needs to be a shotgun wedding and some guy from Australia wants to marry me. So let's
Hey,
take
sounds
a
like he wants to
cruise
take you
around
down under.
Australia.
Can you have shotguns in Australia? Is that just an American thing?
Didn't New Zealand just take away guns, not Australia?
I was going to say, I think Australia's fine. You got to deal with the bush out there, so, you know.
Yeah, you got to protect yourself from big spiders.
And you know what?
kangaroos.
I have to deal with the bush here. The George W. Bush.
Oh, I was like,
need
hey.
Well, Jay, do we have any Beardo submitted sundries this week?
Oh man, I have been flipping around screens on my computer and I lost it. Yes, here they are. We have user content this week.
Fantastic.
Transatlantic user content.
And our first one comes from
The horse is here.
Put a gun against his head. Pulled the trigger, now he's dead. PETA said, "Hey Beardos, a drag queen supermarket sweep would be so much fun. I think all of those were great ideas. I would want to see Jinx Monsoon and Ben de la Creme on a team just because they have great chemistry and are hilarious. Same with Trixie and Katya. But as far as queens who would actually excel at the game rather than just be entertaining, I still think Jinx and Dayla, to be honest. Jinx could definitely be throwing out all the carts. Could definitely, be throwing out all the carts, but I feel like Dayla would actually do a good job at hunting down all the items. She seems like she has the same type of type A personality in her that she could really focus if she wants. Sorry, I can't read."
That's because you.
Well,
were
you
raised
are
in
your
Kansas.
mother's son.
Yeah.
And we hear how she thinks.
She still hasn't read the Bible.
No, she told me she reads 3 different ones.
That's the problem.
And I
Bomb, you got it upside down.
had to bite my tongue. I want to be like, okay, see, you're so busy trying to convince me how religious you are. Anyways,
Anyways.
Speaking of drag queen game shows, have you all seen Drag Me to Dinner on Hulu? It's hosted by Neil Patrick Harris, David Burtka, oh God, Hanifa? Is that right? Oh, I
Don't
thought
ask me.
you were.
Uh-oh. I'm
Hanifa
not
Wood
reading that.
and Bianca Del Rio, and 2 teams of drag queens compete
Oh.
to throw the best themed dinner party. It's great and has a bunch of queens on it. So, if you're looking to fill out supermarket sweet teams, might be a good one to check out.
Wow.
I have to say, PETA, I disagree. I think Jinx Monsoon would be great, and I think Ben Delacrim would be great as well, right up until she Ben Delacrims herself.
Right. She's too polite.
She
Too
would be like,
polite.
you know what, I'm voting myself out, even though we
That's
said
exactly what she did. She
Yeah,
walked off
yeah.
stage, bitch.
yeah,
Those
she
are my
scratched
thoughts
her
exactly.
name in. Yep.
She'd be like, "Oh, I just want every team to have a good time."
Right.
just, you know,
but
I just-
Peter, I do value you taking your homework assignment seriously. Thank you.
That's true, though.
This was the easiest choice I could ever make, and I'm voting myself out. Also,
But then I was
just-
like, well, I get it. Jinx Monsoon's amazing, so.
yeah. Also, just
Correct.
wanted to add that my husband and I just adopted the cutest baby Cavalier King Charles Spaniard.
Is there a picture?
Spaniel, sorry. Say hi.
Spania.
Yeah, Spaniel. Say hi to Howard.
Howard?
Oh my God, Howard!
Yo, that little
Oh
Stupid
my
face.
God, he's so adorable. He already looks so mad, just like a spaniel.
And, he
And he's
looks
wearing
just
plaid.
Like his daddy's.
And the puppy's cute, too.
Aw.
Oh,
Very,
that is
very, very
adorable.
cute. I know. Wish Reggie was that cute, damn it.
He is cute.
I know, my dog's pretty cute. Anyways, love the episode as always, and I'm sending this the Monday before Election Day, and just want to say, whatever way the election turned out, I hope you all are taking care of yourselves. I know right now I'm just a big ball of stress and anxiety, but I'm doing my best and hoping for the best. Now, PETA, how are you? Let us know how you're doing.
What unhealthy coping mechanism are you using today?
Yeah. I can't believe I haven't been drinking. I've been trying to stay away from, I don't know, alcoholism. Ugh, it's so hard.
Well, I this week has been basically me being like, you know what? This week nothing is real. Everything's made up. Society is fake. We just sort of made it up and whatever. This week is just it doesn't count.
It's the same feeling as the week between Christmas and New Year's. Like, time's just fake.
Yeah, it's like
Everything's-
6
everything doesn't
a.m.
count.
in the airport. You know,
Yes. Exactly.
that's the vibe this week.
Well, our next one is from Jody. And Jody,
Oh,
I
no.
don't know why I can't get a theme song in my head for you. I want to make you one, but I just can't. I need the inspiration.
I got it. It's 10 seconds of ice. Just fucking.
Oh my god, I just got the inspiration. Thank God. Jody,
welcome.
you're
Or-
going to have a theme song next time, so write in for
Yeah,
next
like-
week.
Some kind of gay Titanic with an iceberg swirl around in a drink.
Ice, ice, ice.
Ice, ice, Jody. Boom, 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 boom.
Chicka, 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 chicka.
Chicka, 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 chicka.
Wait, keep doing that, Joe. Keep doing that. Yeah, just like that, baby. Yeah, both hands. Both hands. Yeah, slap those balls.
I'm a first floor apartment and I'm waiting for somebody to walk by and I'm just standing there.
It's
Churning
just a
the butter.
shake weight.
I'm practicing to churn the butter whenever we go full on Handmaid's Tale, damn it.
I like make eye contact with them.
Well, if you do not break the eye contact. Assert dominance.
I
Shit
want
your
you
pants
most
while you're doing
uncomfortable
it.
I could be you.
Speaking of eye contact and asserting dominance, what did Jody have to say this week?
Oh, right, sorry.
Jody wrote this on Wednesday.
Okay.
Just keep that day in mind. So, I'd been working on a snarky comment to make towards Jay's ice-loving dingleberries. But honestly, after last
Our hangers
night,
on.
I just don't have it in me to be mean or funny. Last night showed me what I think I already knew. This country has lost nearly all morals. I think the part that hurts most is that those close to us voted against not just us as members of the LGBTQ plus society, but women, Americans of color, decency, accountability, and so much more. Even our so-called friends and family don't get it, and how it impacts those of us who are discriminated against for just being born. How many of these individuals have to worry about whether or not someone is going to go out of their way to say or do something to them for simply existing? How many of these people have to worry about representatives in their states making comments saying the LGBTQ plus society should face a firing squad or be hung? How many live in a world that says they can be fired or denied service for simply being born? How many of these people take for granted the excitement or even the acknowledgement from family when they put a ring on a finger of the one they love and want to marry? How many of these people are introduced as their son's friends after more than 10 years being together? How many of these people were excluded from family pictures during holidays and events while the girlfriends of a couple months were included? The little things add up, and whether they realize it or not, they are admitting shame and embarrassment in our existence. If you have to ask what rights we don't have, you clearly don't get it and clearly aren't listening. Love the show, fellas, and don't worry, Joe and Anthony, even dingleberries, get their day in Big Boy Potty.
Not me. Still wearing them diapers, babies. 40 years strong.
That was somehow a threatening yet hilarious sentence, so I applaud you for that.
That is pretty true. You know, we should have opened this episode with that. I feel like that would have been really a good episode opener, because it really set a tone.
Yeah.
And honestly, Jody, you just expressed every thought that has been swirling in my head in a viscous miasma for the last 48 hours at this point. I mean, longer than that, because, you know, I've always had those feelings. It's just, it's so much more apparent now. It feels very visible. And I think it is the lack of empathy to the point of not taking time to talk to me, you know, about a party that has been so openly anti-LGBTQIA. Now, I will say, in a weird turn of events, my mom called me Sunday to ask my opinion and to get my thoughts and to hear how I felt about this, and says that she did not vote for Donald Trump. True or not, I don't know, but all I have to go off of is her word, and she did do that, and that
And
really
she actively
did
called
mean a
you
lot.
to tell you, so...
Well, no, I had to call her because
Oh.
she tried to call me 3 times yesterday, and I texted her and I was like, hey, I'm not talking to anyone today, because she gets like really antsy. She gets super whenever you don't answer her phone calls, which I don't do all the time. So, you know, it's not abnormal. And especially yesterday, she already knew my thoughts and feelings going into it. But anyways, so I ended up calling her today because I told her I would.
Well,
But yeah, so just, I don't know, silver lining, I guess. You know, I think there is some hope out there. You know, all of these things feel very real. They feel very true because they are true. They are things that have happened. We are not basing our feelings off of nothing. We're basing them off of historical information that our brains have. And we can't all be feeling the same way without some sort of justification for it, right? Like
yeah,
those
it's
feelings.
not like a whole portion of the United States is just... how do I want to explain it? It's not like we just all can relate for no reason. I mean, I even have
Right.
coworkers that are like... I have one that specifically said, I don't know if I'm going to have kids now. I'm to the age where I should have them. And she goes... Now I don't feel like it's going to be a safe option in case I have an issue. And she's like, and that's devastating to me. That's a concern I have in America.
And I mean, that's fair. And I think that's
Yeah.
been the sentiment of our generation. Joe showed me some TikTok the other day where, what was it, 27% of 30 somethings now have one child, whereas back in the 1980s, it was like 70%.
It was like 60 or 70, yeah. Back in
Yeah.
the 90s.
So, you know, we're just having kids at a much lower rate because we don't
Can't afford
think
it.
it's safe. We can't afford it, and it's not safe.
Ooh, another reason Mom said that I wouldn't understand their side is because I make more money than them. And so I don't feel the effects of this inflation as much.
Well, Jay, I've seen how many cars you have and how many, garages you have and how many acres you have, and it's none.
Yeah,
Because
now.
literally you don't have a garage, you don't have a car, you literally live in an apartment. Your car isn't even in that parking garage that you don't own.
I was like, technically, my car right now is at a dealership waiting
I
for
know.
a new transmission because I bought the one Toyota model that has a transmission issue. I literally went and bought Toyota 3 years ago because I was like, this last car I owned was not reliable, so I'll buy something reliable. And it's the first car I've ever changed a transmission in, and it's at 50,000 miles.
And boy, howdy, if that's not a precursor of how things are going to go from here on out, I don't know what is.
Oh my god, I just saw lightning. I forgot storms were coming.
Oh, shit.
Whoa, you can't say Toyota in Oklahoma.
You can't- don't say Michael Moore.
I can't even say the model.
No.
But
Highlander.
No, now you're having to, now that's like Highlander, the television show and the movie.
Oh my God.
There's Highlanders out there. Sean Connery is outside of your door right now, raised from the fucking dead. He never
Listen.
actually died. He's immortal. I've seen that film.
This is going to sound really, really bad, and I want nobody to go down this mental path like I did. But at work yesterday, I said something like, you know what? If America goes fucking crazy and they decide that they do need to kill me right before death, I'm going to be so happy that it's the sweet, sweet death that's going to take me out of this misery.
hey,
Things to
you know,
say to your therapist.
Which my coworker, she's in school for psychology. She goes, "Oh no, but I totally get what you're saying."
What is things that make your therapist write a lot faster, Alex?
Things that get you a new prescription.
Things that end you up hospitalized.
It's the daily double.
we just call that
Double those
biomyology.
Oh, Lord.
What is this?
But-
Jesus takes the wheel?
In all seriousness, Jody, next time Anthony and I are down in the OKC area, we need to all meet up for dinner or drinks or something because it's been far
Drinks.
too long and we have not met yet.
Icy drinks.
Yes, with lots of extra ice swirling around like
glass.
dingleberries.
I was hearing that as IC, like ISEE, and so I was like, okay, yes, drinks. But no, I get it. I get it now. I get it. I'm my mother's child. You have to understand my random bouts of stupidity.
And then the Lord said, let them have slush puppies.
Do you know how hard I had to fight to be semi-intelligent? That was a lot of work.
Really hard.
Was.
I think we're still fighting that battle.
I'm trying.
Well, thank you again, Jody. And yes, we do need to come hang out with you next time we're in OKC.
Yeah, sure.
Don't forget who said that, by the way. We were
Actually,
being
Jody,
nice for once.
I'm so ready to hang out with you again. Oh yeah, your Christmas party's coming up. Yay!
Well,
Jay, do we have
speaking
any
of
other...
hung by the fire with care,
my
what's our
God.
next Beardo Submitted Sundry?
Oh, that was it.
I knew he was
Oh.
going to say that. Right, because you did the lead up, and I was just going to say, do we have any others? And then when you do the lead up, it's no. It's always no.
Yeah, because I always interrupt you guys to continue. So if you have to do a lead up, we're done.
Well, then, does anybody have anything to check out?
I actually have one this week.
Okay, go for it, yeah.
Hold, please.
While Joe is doing that, I'm going to give you guys a light, well, it's heavy, but it's a small something to check out, and that is the Trevor Project at thetrevorproject.org. It is suicide prevention for LGBTQIA plus youth. The hotline number is 1-866-488-7386, or you can chat with them privately on thetrevorproject.org. So if you're feeling a little bit displaced right now, call them, because you deserve to be here, you deserve space, and you deserve to exist.
Also, I want to give just a very stupid, quick something to check out, and it is a TikTok series that I'm addicted to, and it is from Julian Sewell, Juliansewell, and
Paloma
just
Diamond.
look up his Paloma Diamond shit. I am stuck for some reason on this 80s Paloma Diamond series that is so ridiculous, but every time I watch it, I'm like, oh my god, what happens next? It's turned into a big situation on TikTok with, well, the people in the algorithm. Okay, Joe.
And now for Joe, something to check out.
The real something to check out.
This kind of struck me as we were recording, and I thought it would be something fun, to check out. But this item just arrived on my doorstep today, actually. And since we're talking about all this religious talk and all this Bible thumping, I picked up a Bible that I think I would like to start thumping pretty regularly, and it is the Satanic Bible. This is the 50th anniversary revision, and I think it's time for some good reading material to come into my life and change it for the better. Now, some of you knee-jerk reactions might be thinking, "Oh my God, it's Satan! It's evil! It's the devil!"
We've seen what Jesus
Satanic
has been
Bible
doing.
and Satanism is actually a healthy religion, and it's not all about blood sacrifices and wearing black all the time and killing everyone. The Satanic Bible actually teaches good pilgrimage, and it's a good, healthy religion, and it needs more attention than it's getting. So they have a new follower as soon as I start reading this.
That made me think out of the box that we should just send my mom a Ouija board. She would probably just explode.
But if
If
you
you
need
do-
blood sacrifice, call me, Beardos. I have a few tomes.
If you do, you've got to preload the little, what's it called, Anthony? I know you know.
What is that?
The device that slides across the Ouija board.
Oh, the planchette?
Yes, the planchette. You've got to have it preloaded, Jay, to move itself across the board and
Yes.
spell something threatening.
Yeah, I was like, how do I do this to make it?
I think with the amount of mental gymnastics she goes through to make sure she knows she's a good person, she could convince herself she's talking to demons. I think you could do it, and it wouldn't take much work. This is a psychological warfare that you can win very easily.
She does talk to a demon. His name is Jay Rowdybush.
Her son.
Right.
Her
Correct,
blood
yes.
son. The one that she birthed right from the womb herself.
You came out, and it was just a whole
Yeah,
Carrie
see?
situation. She almost got you with them fucking scissors, those shears, and she said no.
Oh, wait a minute. No. What was that 60s movie?
Rosemary's
yeah.
Baby.
Yes,
the
Rosemary's
70s.
Baby.
I was just thinking you should do an edit, Jay, where it's what have you done to it? What have you done to
What
its
have you
eyes?
done
And
to
it
its
zooms on the baby,
eyes?
and it's just Jay's face.
With rainbow eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you done to it? It's gay.
Well, I do support you in your journey into Satanism because it's a very healthy religion. It's all about self-awareness and loving yourself and giving yourself the things you need.
Oh my God, I'm going to tell Mom I'm a Satanist.
Yeah.
Good
That'll really make her head
you-
spin, ironically.
Oh my God. Oh, that'd be so fun.
Yeah.
But if you need
Nah,
real black
I'm not gonna
magic,
taunt her
hit
that
me
bad.
up, Beardos. I got the goods.
The dingleberries.
But yeah, check it out. So, it is well-known tradition that every year the White House is decorated for Christmas by the First Lady herself. And being that Melania is now back in charge of that, I'm sure it's going to be as mid as possible. So, we're taking matters into our own hands, and we're going to imagine what would it look like if the Beards and Sundries Market was tasked with decorating the White House for the holidays.
I think it
Truck
would
nuts
just
everywhere.
truck nuts everywhere. Yeah, that's actually what I was about to say.
See, and I was imagining stacks of boxed wine to look like
Also,
Christmas
that
trees.
that's on the inside. On the outside, truck nuts. Just fucking
nuts.
That's what we just voted for, and I think it's very apropos.
Exactly. They're already going to be there anyway.
Yeah.
So all we have to do is walk around and be like, "Hey, can I borrow your truck nuts?" Not even confirming if they have a truck with them, and they'll hand them right over because we know they'll have them.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be like that South Park episode where Cartman asked Token to go get his bass guitar, and he's like, I don't have a bass guitar. He's like, Token,
Yes.
you got a bass guitar in your basement.
And he comes with a bass guitar, and
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, it was in my basement. God, that is such a good scene. It's so funny.
That whole episode, Faith Plus One, oh my god.
Oh,
It's so
man.
good.
But he's right.
Oh, you don't go platinum, you go myrrh.
You can go double myrrh. What else? What else would be in there?
Ooh, if we
Be sponsored by Fat Frank's Furniture for sure.
the most
Well-
awful like fucking faux leather couches everywhere.
It's going to be all. Oh my God! What was that commercial? Sexy.
Which one? We've made a lot of
sexy
it at this point.
sofas.
Oh, the JD Vance one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Sweet Selena's sexy sofas.
Sweet Selena's sexy
Yes.
sofas. It's going to be. I mean, it's just going to be.
Get out of there! Get out of here!
JD Vance. And so you walk down this aisle of boxed wine trees, and you get to the end, and it's just JD Vance nude on all sorts of sofas.
It's a whole bunch of sofas, and JD
Snail
Vance is
trails
humping one of
everywhere.
them. But yeah, that's exactly it. There's just cum in all the cracks, and every single just fucking.
So, and they're kind of like draped still with a little bit of like pre-cum drizzle, so it kind of looks like Christmas decor. Did you frost these? Oh yeah, I frosted them.
Ew!
It's just a room that is, before you get to it, it's just a line of just boxed wine along the walls in all different colors, and so it swarms like this sort of like rainbow, but then you get there, and at the end there's a little plaque above this door, and it's a very like innocuous looking door, but the plaque says the JD Vance Recreation Room, and then you open it up, and then it's full of different types of couches, and he's in there, and everything's just covered in fucking dry jizz, and his guy liner is just coming off of his face because he can't get out, because he has to fuck every couch before he gets out, and he can't.
Oh my god. And you know who else is there? The Inner Circle from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
We're measuring the weather with our butt.
That's the outer circle, Jay. Do not slander the outer circle.
That's right. Sorry. I'm getting everything confused.
Also known as
And-
the O-rings.
And they spray desperate cologne as the scent.
Oh, yeah.
So instead of like apple cinnamon, it's desperate.
You know,
But it's really just
originally
repackaged bottles of gay.
when we came into this episode, I was going to make you do another prescription drug commercial for dissociation.
Well, we could still be sponsored by them.
That's fine. Sponsored by Dissociation. Dissociate. It's good for you.
And then, when you leave the White House tour for your Christmas parting gift, you walk to the exit door and you're escorted out. And you turn, and there's Vivica Fox, and she pulls a perfectly decorated hot dog out of her tits, and she says,
No.
or
no,
out
no,
of
no.
her
vagina, but
Damn it.
it's not a hot dog this time. She pulls one of those Hostess Christmas tree cakes
yes.
right out of her pussy.
And then, to make everyone mad, she says, "Happy holidays, baby."
Ooh! Oh, what if she pulled out a menorah and said Happy Hanukkah?
And it's lit already because it
Yeah.
like scratches like a
Yeah,
match.
it's just been up there. Yeah.
And then when you get to the end of the hallway, there's a refreshments table with coffee from the Golden Shower Coffee Company.
Shower Coffee Company.
Take that last sip of.
Taste the golden difference.
Oh my God. You'll be so wet from Golden Shower Coffee Company.
So yes, Beardos, as we close out this episode, we like to issue you a challenge and maybe a little bit of homework. We'd love to hear how you would decorate the White House for Christmas or the holidays itself, because it surely will be better than anything that Melania Trump will do.
So go balls to the wall, or truck nuts to the wall, whatever you want to do.
Right.
But I do believe I hear the Muzak coming back on, and it's March of the Pigs by 9 Inch Nails. But go call our hotline real quick at 405-999-2242 and leave us a voicemail to open next week's or a future episode.
And Beardos, it's about time for a refill, so it's time for us to go. If you'd like to help us out, go and subscribe to the podcast so you can get a reminder every Sunday when we release a new episode. We also post frequent updates on all of our social medias for any additional sundries that we add to the market.
Also, don't forget to rate us 5 stars and leave a review. Those reviews are what get us down by more listeners like you, and I think right now more than ever, we should come together as a community. That is not a sales pitch, it's just true.
Did they tell their other friends?
Oh
say
yeah,
that
you should also, shit, I'm so sorry. And then tell another disenfranchised friend like yourself about the podcast would double our growth. And I forgot that part because, yeah, I've been going through it this week.
Hey, while you're disassociating, like the rest of us, go disassociate on our socials: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads. We'd love to hear from you on any of those. Also, we desperate want to read your user content. So please email us at beardsandsundries@gmail.com. You can also go check out our website, beardsandsundries.com. Buy some merch if you would like. And again, we want to hear from you. If you have issues with this election, let us know. We want to hear from you.
We want to hear that everyone's okay.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
that's more it.
So, from the three of us, very tired, so very tired, shop clerks here at the Beards and Sundries Market, please make sure to
Love yourself.
Because we do already love you, and you deserve it, and you deserve space in this country and in your home.
You are human. You deserve just as much space and oxygen as anyone else.
and we're all smarter than Jay's mom.
True. Very true.
Facts.
Bye, Beardo.
Bye.
We love you.